And our word for today on this Monday of the 5th week of Lent, this Monday, March the 18th, our word for today is conversion. Conversion, our word for today, taken from our verse before the gospel from the book of the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 33. I take no pleasure in the death of the wicked man, says the Lord, but rather in his conversion, that he may live. I want to point out we have the beautiful story, the complete story, by the way, of Susanna from the book of Daniel, chapter 13, and her prayer and the judgment that the Lord brings forth through Daniel to set her free after false judges come against her. Definitely worth the read, but I want to spend our time today in this verse before the gospel and also in the Gospel of John, chapter 8 today. Again, our word for today, conversion, taken from the verse before the gospel from the prophet Ezekiel. I take no pleasure in the death of the wicked man, says the Lord, but rather in his conversion, that he may live. We see this played out in the Gospel of John today, chapter 8, when a woman who is caught in adultery is brought before the Lord for judgment. One, where's the man? The man is nowhere to be found. Simply the woman that is caught in adultery. Obviously, there are two involved. The woman is brought forward, and they want Jesus to pronounce judgment. Jesus bends down and begins to write on the ground with his finger. But when they continued asking him, he straightened up and said to them, "Let the one among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." Again he bent down and wrote on the ground, and in response they went away one by one, beginning with the elders. Beginning with the elders. Why did they go away one by one, beginning with the elders? We don't know what he was writing on the ground, but we might get some indication, find some indication through this idea of who left first. What is Jesus writing on the ground? Maybe he's writing the sins of the people that are gathered there. Maybe he's writing the 10 Commandments, reminding them of that. But if he began writing on the ground particular issues that the people in that audience had had in their lives, it would make sense that those who were the oldest among them would leave first, as they are reminded of their past sinfulness, all the way down to those who are of the younger age. And they left one by one, beginning with the elders. He's writing on the ground with his finger. This is not the first time the finger of God had been used to write something down. We see the great feast of Belshazzar, this debauchery that was going on in the Old Testament, and we all remember the finger of God appeared and began writing on the wall the condemnation of those who were present in that room. And then the judgment of God fell upon them. So here it is. Jesus is writing it out. Are you really going to condemn her? Because if you're going to be condemning her, you yourself are going to be condemned. And these are the things that you are guilty of. As you bring her to me and you want me to condemn her for her sinfulness, let me remind you gently, without pointing to you individually. I'm going to write it on the ground. Let's see if any of it applies to you. And if after I write this on the ground, you still want to condemn her, then you're free to do that. But you yourself are going to be condemned as well, because you see that you are guilty too. Is he just making a comment or putting forth an idea that she should not be condemned, that what she is doing should just be forgotten, that it's no big issue? No, he speaks to her individually. Once he has removed the crowd, now he approaches her individually. And he asked her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" She replied, "No, sir." Then Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you." A lot of people stop there. Jesus didn't stop there. We have to include the rest. Go, and from now on, do not sin anymore. Be converted, my dear daughter. Be converted. Yes, they were right in what they brought forward, saying that what you were engaged in was not permissible. I reminded them of the things that they did that were not permissible. I free you of that. If you come and you ask me to forgive you of that, I will forgive you of that thing. But go and don't do it anymore. Go and don't do it anymore. Be converted. And in that way, we are made free. The Son has come to make us free, not to condemn us, to set us free, but we have to cooperate in that thing. The conversion is the us saying yes to that invitation. Conversion, our word for today.